Welcome to T Boys TV. We are back again with another hat show. By the way, Dad, first of all, how are you?
Yeah, all good, mate. I'm all good, man.
The second thing I was going to say is we're literally 5 away from episode 200. So,
Let's hope that's a
yeah,
good result that time. Well, we're
yeah,
talking a good result.
yeah, hopefully. But big up to everyone that has been waiting. Obviously, in this one, we will be talking about the QPR game again. And then we're going to rank the transfer window because obviously it's been officially shut. This is the first time we're both talking on it since. So we'll say, if we had a good window or not in our opinions and reasons and stuff like that. But yeah, let's get into it. So QPR reaction. Now, disappointing. Obviously, you guys from my prediction would have seen that I wasn't confident that we was going to win. Just due to the form we've been on. We've just been lacking that clinical edge at times, to score more than two or stuff like that, just to see a game out really with the win. So that's why I thought it maybe be a draw. Obviously, that's what it was in 90 minutes against them in the League Cup as well. So I just had that slight feeling it was going to be like that again and stuff like that. But unfortunately, it wasn't to be a great result. But the lineup was Kaminsky in goal, back three again. Now, we'll get into it a bit more later, but I think now you've got to change it. With 4 games in and we still haven't won a game. And yeah, on the basis, the Portsmouth game, the 10 men, I'll take that. But the other games, even though I expected loss to Burnley, losing in the manner that we did, it's just not working, this formation. You're heavily reliant on certain players as well, like Doughty, I feel, not just on set pieces, just with this formation. And then obviously Burke, McGuinness, and Bell. So Mengi wasn't starting, which again I had that slight feeling that he wouldn't in this one, just due to him not being 100%. Burke actually had a really good game, to be fair, against QPR in the League Cup. And then Rio Walters on the right wing back role. Good to see him there. Obviously, since Chio's gone, you are going to see him a lot more there as the season goes on. You probably see, not straight away, but as Hashioka gets more into it, you'll probably see him chop and change, maybe, in certain games and stuff. Baptiste and Clark, and then Doughty on the left, like I say, and then the front three, Morris, Chong, and Elijah. As for the bench, it was as follows: Tom Holmes, Mengi, Ruddock, Nakamba, Nelson, Shea, Taylor, Walsh, Woodrow. Now, I know Nakamba's just come back. However, I thought he'd start a little bit in this game, considering he did start a little bit in the cup. I thought maybe, okay, he'll play at least, I don't know, 60 minutes potentially or a half, something like that again. Just seeing that, the other two that we've got there are more, attacking forward players, it just makes sense, midfielders anyway. It just makes sense to, go with him there. You've got that option at least for, a bit of the game for me. So I was a little bit surprised. Again, the midfield ain't working, the two in midfield. Like I say, they're both heavy-minded attacking players. We need that either more cover there or, when the international breaks back, we need to play one of them. But for me, we just need to change the whole thing. To be honest, like everywhere on the pitch is not working, in my opinion. So, yeah, I was a bit surprised Nakamba didn't start at least the game. Again, it may be a bit difficult who drop, whether it's Clark or Baptiste, but, I felt you had to, at least put Nakamba in with him being back. But yeah, and we wanted to see Taylor start as well. That didn't quite happen as well, which was a bit annoying. But what did you make when you saw the lineup, Dad?
Well, obviously, it was a lot different to what I sort of was looking at. I had Mengi to start, obviously, didn't. Waters on the right, but not in that position. I can understand why he's been in that position. That's fine. And yeah, everything else was probably as expected, apart from we wanted Taylor to start, like I said. We went with the same front two, again. I mean, they are our best two strikers.
Or it's his peak.
Just that perseverance, isn't it? Yeah.
If you don't laugh, guys, you cry. You know what I mean? That's what it's like at the moment. Like,
I mean, I predicted a win. You know, I thought we'd turn it on this time, but wasn't to happen, was it?
no.
Repeating the same mistakes that we've done like throughout last season. Yes, it was the Premier League, but we're scoring, letting in silly goals. Or if we did score, even to the last game of the season, we done it. Score,
Yeah.
well, they score, equalised. Then, do you know what I mean? Like, and it's a pattern. I'm sorry, but it's a pattern, and it was like that in pre-season as well. I just mentioned to you privately or whatever, or maybe even on the show, that I think we let
I
too
think
many.
when we did that watch along, you said that.
And it is fundamentally, for me, it's down to that three at the back, or the way the whole team set up. That a lot of teams are just bypassing and like playing the simple balls over the top, and because we got like centre backs who are playing left centre back or right centre back when they're not really meant to be doing that. Well, it's not their natural position. I just think it needs to be addressed. Not a lot of teams do play three at the back nowadays. I know some do, and it can work, but I feel like you've got to have, and then five in front sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? Right. I just don't think it works. If you keep persisting with it, I think we've got the personnel to have four at the back. We've got plenty of centre backs, and we've got people who can play the left back as their designated role, i.e. Amari Bell. That's what his main position is. Johnson, that's what his main position is. Waters, you can bang on that. If not, Hashioka apparently can play there. They can interchange on that right side. We was linked with that other player before, apparently could play there. Then we stopped the interest or whatever. I just think that it's not working. It's a pattern that's been going on, and we keep getting punished time after time because of it. But yeah, they are good players. You can see that they've got the ability, and they are holding the possession. They are kind of dominating games to a certain extent, but fundamentally the tactics, the overall way of we're trying to play is not. It might click into place at some point, but defensively it's terrible. It's not. I don't mind a slow build up player now. I don't mind it, but when you're getting constantly exposed at the back, you've got to look at that surely and just adapt and change it up. But yeah,
I mean, something that's really annoying me, obviously, yes, it was in the Premier League, it happened as well, but it's the manner we concede in the goals, in the sense of how quickly they are in the games. You look at that Burnley game, not the one this season, the last season at home. How quickly we conceded in that after doing so well to get back into the game. You look at obviously, the manner of the Bournemouth ones, for example. You look at even when we played, and again, I know it's a bit of a second string team, but even when we played Grimsby in the FA Cup, that it happens a lot. And I remember you was like, oh yeah, it's going to be addressed in that, but it's still happening constantly. It's not like it's once; it's happening like 2 or 3 times, 4 times. Even the other day, as soon as we concede that first goal, we concede again. And it's just like, oh my, like, what is going on? It's too easy. And again, I have to agree with you, Dad. It is down to the way we're playing. At the time, I'll be honest, I was a bit frustrated with McGuinness. However, he ain't really played in the back three. At Cardiff, he didn't really do that, from what I've seen anyway. And it just, it's the second goal for me. That's the one that frustrated me more. Why is no one marking him? And again, it's down to the tactics for me, because they're playing three at the back. They're sort of like, all right, we've got to be here. They've got to be in it. They feel like they've got to be in the box, and no one's got to be like proper over there to where Fry was, or Frey or whatever his name is. Oh, it's just frustrating. It's awful. It's awful. It's like League Two defending. You have to be honest, but again, it's down to the tactics, and we need to change them thick and fast. I remember saying earlier on in the season. I think it was going into the Portsmouth game. I said it on one of the championship shows. We need to change formation, and I said it then. A lot of people were saying it then. You have to do it now. We've tried 4 games in, we haven't won, right? And again, Burnley, okay, fair enough. We was maybe going to lose that, but not in a manner. That's not acceptable. Portsmouth, I'll take the draw, I said it'd be a draw going into it, the 10 men. But the 2 games after that, I'm not happy. Not happy at all, because Preston are not that great. Yeah, you see that on the weekend. They're not that great. I told people Oxford would win that. And then
that they had 1 shot on target in that game and they scored from it. And the same with the QPR, they had 2 shots on target and they scored from them. That tells you there's a problem. And also with that sending off, I feel like Kaminsky come out because he felt it had to, because the defence weren't going to cope with it. Do you know what I mean? There wasn't enough cover there then. Do you know what I mean? So it all links in with the same thing. I just think it doesn't work. You could say it works in periods in the Premier League, but then from like January and that, when we had all them injuries and that as well, we were just leaking goals, man. Like, it was just ridiculous. And it continued in pre-season. That's the time when you've got to try and iron out them things, and it hasn't been ironed out. The Celta game is a bit of an example of that as well. I know they got quality in that, but yeah, I just think this since Lockyer's gone as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Massively.
You're missing that leadership as well, in my opinion. Since Lockyer's gone, definitely, especially at the back. But I think in the pitch as a whole, really. I love Morris. I do.
As well. Imagine
captain material.
Yeah, like McGuinness and Mengi both playing centre back, right? And then you got Johnson or Bell, and then Walters or Hashioka or Burke or whatever on that other side. That sounds like a pretty decent defence to me.
It is, yeah. Especially Mengi and McGuinness.
Them 2 centre backs should be able to deal with between them. They'll be able to deal with anything, knowing that they've got cover on the other sides. They'll be able to deal with a lot of stuff. I think. I honestly do.
Yeah, I agree. And then even the players on the bench, you got, because for me, I'll be honest, if my back 4, right, would be Bell left back
as well. Holmes can probably play on.
That's what I'm saying. The options. So my main 4 would be Bell on the left, Real Walters on the right, and then Mengi and McGuinness, because McGuinness come in for what he's allegedly come in for. He got a start. And Mengi's right now, he's the best centre back. All right, I know he didn't have a great game the other day, but again, it goes down to the way we're playing for me. Look how many times the guy's done vital tackles.
They were both basically in each other's way for that first goal. He made a mistake, but then, he done well to try and get him back. The geezer's strong. That guy was strong, But
either way, like I say, if we lost Mengi, we would have, as much as me and you, Dad, maybe half expected it, we'd have still been a bit gutted because he's a quality player. So you say them, and then like I say, we've got Anderson, who I rate highly. You've got Burke. Who has done well the last 2 games. I can't really be too critical of him. Since he's come back, he's done really well, especially in that first game, that League Cup game. I thought he's really good. And then, like I say, Holmes as well. You've got them options, and I also feel, obviously you don't know when injuries are going to happen and that, but just with our luck, you don't want to risk playing like 3 of them, for example, going forward, because like we love Burke, but again, he's made of glass. You know what I mean? Let's be real. And, you just don't know when it's going to happen with the others. So, for me, it needs to change. Again, they're miles better. But like I say, you can still, the fullbacks can still burst forward. Look at Liverpool, for example. Like, I know they're miles better than us, but look at the way they play. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can still do that. It's not like they have to sit back and, do you know what I mean? Like you say, Dad, it also means that they can have more cover. And they'll be a lot more confident, as in Mengi and McGuinness, for players on their side, because they can defend, but it's just their main position will be better.
Kaminsky would be better. He's probably getting pissed off now. Like every single game, he's making 2 decent saves, which would normally keep you in the game, give you a point, maybe even get you 3 points. It's getting you fucking nothing. And I think if that improves with that, then it will just generate the rest to the because out attacking going forward and that. I think we won't be rushing it so much and desperate. Like, it's almost in the back of their mind, like, if we don't score, we're going to let one in. Like, I don't know. But yeah, it
did feel like that the other day. For me
Yeah.
watching it, I don't know if it's the same with you, Dad, but when we conceded that first one, I was like, oh, I don't know, I just had that slight feeling because of just what it looks like. You know, the mentality is in the camp at the moment. Just, you know, dropped our heads. It just felt like that was going to happen.
The goals are too easy that we can see.
Yeah, shocking.
All of them have been pretty much too easy.
Well, one positive coming out of this game. Well, it's not really a positive because it didn't win, but we actually went 1-0 up. It's been a very long time since that happened. You know, on the watch along, I was sort of like, wow, okay, this is weird to be 1-0 up. Didn't really know what to do, to be fair. I mean, own goal, but to be fair to McGuinness, he headed it in the direction. Obviously, the keeper saved it. Not the same keeper they had in goal in the League Cup, but even he made some all right saves, to be fair. Does look like they've got two good keepers, to be fair to them. But yeah, saved it. But then it hit Dunn and went in. I mean, we'll take it. I mean, what was you feeling at that moment, Dad? A different style, maybe, in the sense of we might actually win, or I know it's still quite early, but
No, well, a little bit, but not overly, because they were quite not dominant, but they were like
having good chances, yeah,
playing pretty well, yeah. And then that happens in football, but at the end of the day, that was a bit of quality from Baptiste, who's been showing that a lot this season. You know, great cross in there. McGuinness, you know, he scores with his head. He's a proper threat in the box, and basically calls that, you know, goal. If maybe Elijah would have got onto it, possibly as well, but you know, it was enough, and that was good play, and that just shows you what just that little bit of extra quality does, you know. And we have got that, and there's no denying that. Like, if we play properly, and you know, and we're on song, we're playing the right formation, the right tactics, and that we'll be well up. We will be up there, at least getting a playoff place. But at the moment, it's working. But yeah, it was that's what happens when you got certain quality players in there and threats. You will score goals without it being necessarily, you know, glamorous or whatever. It happens in the Premier League all the time. We've done it against Sheffield United last season away, where they scored 2 own goals because of the way we was playing in the box and that. So, you know, it gave us a bit of a cushion. Do you know what I mean? And it enabled us to then go in at half time 1-0, and then, you know, we started the second half reasonably well. You know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Going into the second half, obviously made a change. Quite an early one, obviously at half time. That was obviously Burke coming off for Mengi. Now, as far as I'm aware, I did watch Rob Edwards' thing. He didn't say anything on it, from my memory. On the Reece Burke thing, we was thinking maybe it might be an injury. You know, because again, we know what he's made of, unfortunately. But I don't know. Nothing's come out, so hopefully not. Because he's just come back, and like I said, he has done well. To be fair to him, now, I thought he done all right in the first. Again, and I remember going into the first half on the watch along saying no one's been below average or even average. You know, everyone was really good in that first half. I felt, you know, they all put in a good shift. You know, all right. 2 strikers still didn't quite score, but they were okay in the first half. You know, Chong was doing his usual in the sense of, you know, driving forward. You know, everyone was good. You know, no average performances in that first half, but second half, I'll say as soon as we conceded that goal, which very frustrating goal to concede, because I think it was Cook who played it all the way up there. Obviously, you know, McGuinness maybe didn't anticipate it right, like I said, but then again, like you say, Mengi and him, like, sort of like miscommunication there by the looks of it. And then as soon as he got past him, I was like, well, in my head, I'm just like, well, he's going to score because he's going to square it across. And just with the amount of time, you know, they had sort of to get forward past him, I was like, they can't miss this, surely. And then they did. And yeah, frustrating. I mean, from that moment in, you are, you know, thinking, oh, well, we might not win this game again. It might be another winless game. But what did you make of the first goal we conceded?
Obviously, again, Baptiste was involved just before that. Lovely, you know, Elijah touched it down to him and he played it through to him. Probably should have scored. you know. But we know he's just he starts slow. You know what I mean? It takes him a while. You know.
And again, this is why we said starting
Whatever.
Taylor. This is why we said starting Taylor over him, because he's a slow starter.
Yeah, but you know, he probably should have scored, but in the end of the day, he didn't. You know what I mean? The keeper and then their goal was a nothing ball out of defence, an absolute nothing ball. Right? And then for some reason, McGuinness let it bounce. I don't know why. You know, that's not rule in football. And you never do that. Maybe we thought like someone was behind him again. You know what I'm saying? Or there to weren't, and then. He tried to get back, and then Mengi realised too late. He tried to get back. The geezer's strong, good player. That Frey, beast. Yeah, got the pass, the vital touch to flick it across the box, and then bang. Then by then, everyone else is too late, and you know they capitalised on an error basically. But you know, it can't be McGuinness. You know, in the last few games, he's looked good. We know he's a good player. I think he'll come good. I think he's got real quality. But you know, I'd rather him make that mistake now and then. Do you know what I mean? Not, you know, sort it out and don't do that again, kind of thing. But I still think he'd be better in a back four. But yeah, it weren't. And then we should have got players back and covered that. Do you know what I mean? But we didn't.
No, we didn't. 3 minutes later, conceded again. Now, as much as that one was frustrating because it was a long, simple, over-the-top ball, this one frustrated me more personally, just because the fact no one's marking him at the back post. You know, I had some people saying, "Oh, Kaminsky should have saved it." He was having a laugh. He hasn't even been great the last couple of games, but that one I can't blame him at all. You know, that is shocking defending. But again, it comes down to the tactics. You know, if that's a back four, I think we're more steady. You know, that's either Bell on him for me, or whoever's playing on that left, you know, is probably on him there because it's, you know, their side of the post, or even the left centre back, whoever that is, you know, is there. And I just feel because of this three, they're sort of all like, well, where am I meant to be, sort of thing. It does feel like that because even in the Preston game, right, they were chopping and changing. Like, I swear McGuinness and Mengi, I think it was, swap positions like in the game. It's just like, whereas a back four, you know where you're going to be, you know, obviously. So it's just more obvious, you know, is what I'm trying to say. But, oh, mate, that was so frustrating. You know, I was like, you having a laugh. Obviously, you'd see my reaction if you watch the watch long, but that was another very annoying goal to concede, to say the least, wasn't it, Dad?
Yeah, the defence was totally disarray. Like all three centre back. Well, you know, Mengi and McGuinness they're going to be kind of in the middle, but Bell probably should have been out on that side. Wasn't. You know, Doughty was the closest one, but come on. And that shows you what it is, especially if that guy's hurt you in the first place. It's ridiculous. Like Chong was just looking at him as well. Like, no, even if the defence ain't like, you should be steaming forward. I think seeing the danger. They actually had two men on the far side there. You know, just not good enough at any level. That is not good enough at any level. Yeah, that needs to be sorted out. If you're three at the back are playing that bad, then you put five at the back, mate.
Yeah.
Like, it just wasn't good enough. Absolutely not good enough.
And then moving on to, you know, the last part of the second half, obviously made some changes. Taylor come on for 15 minutes, same with Walsh. Chong and McGuinness come off. Bit surprised when he took Chong off because then it looked like he went to a 4-3-3 and then had, you know, wide players, and Chong is actually a winger. So I was very surprised about that. And again, I know, you know, he's not been on the best of form, I'd say. Taken away, obviously, the Burnley game, he was probably one of the better players, and obviously he did score. I just think at the same time, if you're going to move to a wingers, you might as well keep him on because he's that sort of player who could have a poor predominant part of the game, but then last 10, 15 minutes, he could do something, you know. But yeah, I was a bit surprised. I mean, good to see Taylor come on. Was it enough? I'm not sure. I mean, he had a good chance and he should have really put it on target, in my personal opinion. right at the end, headed it over. But again, he will have more opportunities. I'm hoping anyway. Hopefully longer chances to do stuff. But yeah, it was one of them. I mean, Nelson come on as well. Obviously, he come on for 6 minutes, but we were sort of thinking at that point, well, I'll be happy to get a draw. Like, you're not really happy to get a draw because you want to win the game. You want to aim to go and win this game. But just with the sense of going 2-1 down, we was like, well, just try and get a draw. But didn't get that. But what did you make of the back end of the second half, Dad?
Well, again, there was another chance that Baptiste set up for Elijah. Their keeper saved it again. And then we was like going a bit gung-ho and that. But just again, like panicking, you know, just trying to force it into the back of the net, basically. And yeah, it's too little too late, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was indeed. But yeah, that was that. When it comes to that, let's go through some comments and then we'll get into the player ratings. Big up to Lewis in the chat. We are good, mate. Hope you're well. Big up to Spencer as well. But yeah, let's get into the player ratings now. So in goal, Kaminsky. Like I say, you know, the second goal both goals, to be honest, couldn't really done much. The first one was played across. The second one unmarked volley. So yeah, as much as I think the games before that, you know, he wasn't so great. You know, this game I can't blame him for anything, to be honest. So for me, I'll just go with 6.5, 6.5.
Yeah, 6.5. You know, he did make a good save from header, but we're just conceding to. It's hard to give him more than that. Do you know what I mean? Because he's not. Because we just keep conceding. But yeah, 6.5.
Jackie says 6.5 as well. Hello. Moving on to the next player, we'll go over to Burke. Again, obviously, come off at half time, but I thought he had a decent half, again, to be honest, in the game. So, I mean, I can really go with Burke. Like I say, he weren't actually on when we conceded any of them goals. Do you know what? I'll go slightly higher than Kaminsky, but some people might go 6.5. I'll go 7 for Burke.
I'll give him 6.5.
There you go. Just like that. Moving on to McGuinness. Now, again, like first goal, he shouldn't have let it bounce. However, he had that header, which obviously forced them to make the mistake, really, you know, in the sense of the own goal. And he done a few little decent things. So, again, I'll go with another 6.5.
Yeah, 6.5. You know, we discussed that. You know, he scored a goal. Well, basically, you know, he got some good touch here, especially in the first half, and then he got substituted obviously later on than that. But I'm not going to be that harsh on him because Mengi come on. Mengi was awful, I thought, when he come on. I'm not going to lie. Right? I think he was a bit all over the place, which is quite unusual. So I'm just going to give him a 6.5.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Jackie's gone with the same. Also gone with the same as me for Burke, which was obviously a 7. Moving on to Bell. Again, I thought Bell had a decent game. You know, out of the centre-backs anyway. You know, obviously he should be the captain for me. I just feel it's better to have someone who's a defender, or at least, you know, in a position where it's more behind. Obviously, he did have it anyway. You know, when the stuff unfortunately happened with Lockyer, he was the first player to have it. So I remember them first couple of games in the Prem. So yeah, I mean, I felt he was one of the better ones, like I say. So for me, I'll go with a 7 for Bell.
I'll just give him another. Do you know what? I'll give him another. I'll give him a 6.5. I think he should have been better, especially with the second goal. But we was having this conversation last season, and yes, he's adapted, you could say, to playing in that position. But at times, it's not his natural position, is it? And this is what happens when it's not, you know. So I'm just going to give him a 6.5.
fair enough. Jackie's gone with the same as you, 6.5. Moving on to the next player, Rio Waters. Again, one of them, innit? I don't think he was, too bad. He did get called up for one of the England youth teams as well. So congratulations to him for that. But yeah, again, I mean, I don't know. I'll just go with 6.5.
Yeah, same. He's playing in this new kind of position, isn't he? Really, as well, and he's adapting to that. He's got the potential in that, but it wasn't, superb in this game. But he has been pretty good in other games. He's only young still, so yeah, 6.5.
Yeah, exactly. Doughty on the other side. A few crosses were better. Obviously, it wasn't his cross for the first goal. Obviously, Baptiste crossed it back in, but his crossing was better in the game. However, I just think they're so reliant on him. Look at Baptiste. I was saying it a couple of weeks ago, weren't I? Baptiste and him could be the set piece takers. Let Baptiste take some. They're just too heavy reliant on him, I feel. What we actually forget, well, not necessarily me, but just certain people do forget, is he's actually a midfielder. When we signed him from Stoke, it said he was a midfielder. So if we are to change formation, which we need to do, we could play him higher up. Because people might go, "Oh, Bell or Johnson, why are you not saying Doughty? Play him higher up. It'd be more beneficial, I feel, to him. As much as he is decent at defending, he's not as bad as what people think. I just think if you play him higher, it's just more beneficial because he is good at driving at players, and doing them quick passes and stuff. And I just feel it's more beneficial if you have Bell, who actually is a left back there, or Johnson, whatever. Well, Johnson in certain games, Bell predominantly, then it'll be fine for me. It'll be a lot better. So for me, Doughty in this game, I will go over 6.5 though.
Yeah, same 6.5. He could probably play in the Chong position. I think, you know what I mean? And also, I don't think it's working with like Morris sitting. Morris needs to be up front properly with Elijah. I think you need to have the two up there. I agree. Sitting there, it hasn't. Do you know what I mean? I think that's where he gets frustrated on that because he's trying to hold up the ball and then release it, which he's very good at, but it restricts his play. You know what I mean? He's unable to do what he's supposed to be doing, scoring goals, unless he's in the box on set pieces and stuff. But yeah, 6.5. I think there's a lot of, pretty much 6.5 is going to go around, isn't it? But
Jackie went with Walters as 7, 6.5 for Doughty as well. Moving on to, we'll go over to Baptiste. Obviously, good cross, which forced him to do the mistake. Like I say, we should be putting him as another set piece taker, like I say. And again, I felt he was good. Again, the midfield gets overrun, but it's like we say, they're not. You need to put a CDM there. Again, I know Krause is obviously injured, but I just felt Nakamba should have at least played to the 60th minute at least, or even half time, whatever. A meaningful game in the League Cup, compared to the league, and he played in the League Cup one. I don't know, man. It just, I would have understood it if he then played in this game, to get minutes up, but he didn't, and I was surprised, to be honest. So yeah, Baptiste, I do feel is one of the better players in the game. So I'll give him a 7.
I'll give him a 7. He's my man of the match. He carried a lot of threat. Crossed in for the goal. Played lovely through passes. Which could have went 2-0 up. And then the other one with Elijah, where the keeper saved it. He's looking really good for us. He's looking like a very good signing. I think he's at the moment he's a starter. Do you know what I mean? Whether you put the camera alongside him or change up that midfield and put him with Clark or Walsh and then have Nakamba sitting behind him, whatever. I think he's a vital cog. Do you know what I mean? And he's playing some nice football for us. So yeah, he's my man of the match. 7.
Yeah. Well, that's fair enough. Jackie's gone with the same 7. Moving on to the next player, Clark. I'm going to give Clark man of the match for me. He has been, one of the better players in the team. And again, we know he's not. He can do an all right job as more of a central midfielder, but again, it's not ideal. You want to play him higher up in the pitch, and I just felt, what I do like about Clark is he does take them pop shots sometimes, and sometimes especially this season, a lot we've tried to run it into the box. Whereas Clark will sense that opportunity, he'll go for it. All right, it took a bit of a while against Preston, but he did take that shot in the end. He had a few chances, throughout the season, and in this game he was okay. He was okay. Again, we need to change it. The midfield is another area we need to change. We just need to change formation as a whole, for me. But yeah, in this game I felt he was all right. So man of the match. I'm not. Oh, do you know what? I'll just go with because he is my man of the match. I guess I have to give him the highest in that sense. So I will go with 7.5.
I'll give him a 6.5. I thought he was decent, but again, like you say, he has. At the moment, I think he's in the team more because other players are injured or they're getting. I think that German player will go straight in there, but I do think Clark can play in the Morris position or the Trump. I think he's better, like you say, up further attacking. When we first signed him, I think he was a right attacking winger under Nathan Jones. He was, and when he was at Accrington, that was his position. I think he's quite experienced now. Obviously, he's one of the senior members of the squad. So and he has got ability, but I just think it's wasted a little bit when the midfield is not allowing him to play his natural game. If that makes sense. But yeah, I'll give him 6.5.
Yeah, fair enough. Jackie's gone with another 7 for Clark. Moving on to the front three. Start off with Morris. I'd say first I thought he was all right. I did think he was all right. I don't think anyone was average, like I said earlier. But as the half went on, the second half anyway, just wasn't really seen for me in the game, really. Especially compared to Elijah, all right, should have scored in that, but at least he was more seen in the game. I didn't really see Morris in the second half.
No.
So yeah, Morris. I'm going to go with 6 for Morris.
Yeah, I agree. Mainly because of the second half, who just weren't there. Do you know what I mean? I get what rallying the troops after that. Do you know what I mean? After conceding them goals and that, like the captain and stuff. I don't know, man. I think he needs to. I know, like, it gets on with the squad and things like that, but yeah, I'm not really seeing anyone vocal on the pitch. I think as a captain, you've got to be like that. Do you know what I mean? I'm not really seeing that. But again, I also think that he should be playing in the front too. So I'll give him a 6 as well.
Yeah. No, I agree. Front two is much more beneficial. I do feel that definitely with that. And then the next player, Chong, like I say, first half good, driving at players and that. Even though he didn't have the great second half, like I say, I was a bit surprised he come off, especially to then go over 4-3-3. I don't know. I was a bit confused, to be fair. 6.5 for Chong.
I'll give him a 6. Don't think it was too great, but again, pre-season he's looked really good, didn't he? So did Morris, which is annoying. But then when he was in pre-season, I think he was up front more. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
just a 6 for John, I'm afraid. Yeah.
And then moving on to Elijah, obviously, should have scored. Obviously that chance before they obviously got the equaliser. That other chance, that was a good save. It's one of them angles where it can be difficult to score there. So I'm not really blaming him for that one towards the end. But again, he was more seen, if you're comparing it to someone like Morris in the game. But again, it goes down to wanting to see Morris higher. But Elijah, I'll give Elijah a 6.5.
Yeah. He should have done better, but it wasn't a terrible performance from him. Do you know what I mean? He had a few chances. He was getting himself in good positions. He was trying to run with the ball. It was kind of working in that respect. It's only a matter of time before he starts scoring, definitely. 100%. And he's being looked at apparently in January, but we'll see about that. But yeah, 6.5.
Well, Yeah, I see that. Everton. They were actually rumoured to be looking at him in the summer as well. I remember talking about that. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, if he's still well, obviously he'd have scored by then. But if he hasn't scored as many as maybe we'd think, then the price tag probably won't be that high at this moment. But I don't know. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. What happens with that? Jackie says Chong 7, Elijah 5.5. Moving on to the subs. Obviously, made 4 subs in this game. Mengi, the first one, yeah, like we say, not the best of games from him in this game. Obviously, the communication a little bit for the first goal, as much as McGuinness shouldn't have let it bounce. I don't know, just Mengi weren't as great. But again, there was always them doubts that he weren't going to start, obviously, from me. And I feel that's because he's clearly not 100%. But obviously, he's not leaving. So that's a positive. Yeah, anyway. So, me, Mengi, I'll probably just give him an average 6.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, considering the fact that we've seen a lot better from him, and we conceded them both in goal. You know what I mean? I know, but even he's normally quite good at organising the defence to a certain degree, or spotting the danger. We've seen him come across and spot that danger. It just didn't look at that interested. You know what I mean? Almost like a deal would fell through, or But at the end of the day, you have to end up getting. He's an excellent player, and if we don't go up, whatever, we're probably, if he carries on growing and developing the way he is, then we're going to lose him at some point anyway. But he wasn't that great. 6.
Yeah, no, he wasn't. 5.5 says Jackie for Mengi. And then moving on to Taylor. Again, I wanted to see him on for longer. It was good to see him come on, though. I did like that he was actually coming on in this game. I did want him to start anyway, but, seeing how the lineup was, I wanted to see him come on a bit earlier, like I say. Did have that chance. For me, should have put it on target, but again, I'm not going to be too critical because I want to see him on for longer because he'll do that. The thing is, if he's on longer, he'll do that like 2 or 3 times, as in have big opportunities like that. And he will tuck one of them away because he is that type of player. So, again, I'll just go over average 6.
Yeah, 6. Like, maybe he should have left it for Elijah, but maybe Elijah didn't shout, whatever. Like, he's desperate to try and score and prove himself, isn't he? And he's just not. When you're under the cosh like that and you're throwing, you're just desperately like kicking balls forward, and that doesn't really give him the right kind of setting for me, like for him to achieve that. Like, so if we're like 2-3-0 up and then he comes on, it's a lot more easier, isn't it? So yeah, unfortunately, I'll just give him 6, but that's not. I wanted him to start. Like,
So
Elijah looked, knackered after that cup game, but obviously he wasn't. Do you know what I mean? And he was, But then Morris is not performing at the moment. You're not dropping him because he's the captain. You got Bell there. Like, you got to make some of these hard decisions and that. Like, they go on about statistics and this, that, and the other. Like, and surely you can see, yes, we are creating a lot of chances and that, but there's more to it. Like, there's stuff that's just not working. We always said that Morris. It's just, I just think he's better up front. Like, if you're only going to play one up front, then put someone else in that position. Do you know what I mean? Like be braver, or put 2 up. A lot of teams do play with 1 up. I don't really like 1 up front anyway.
No, I don't think that would work.
I don't like it. Do you know what I mean? But if you are going to play that, then maybe put him but just directly behind Elijah rather than like out on the kind of wing a little bit, isn't it? Ineffective, man.
Moving on to the next one. Walsh. Again, that's 3 times he's come on. He's looked good every single time. And I thought he picks out them passes, doesn't he? Them really good passes. Or he tries forward. He was trying to, he was a massive part of us trying to get that equaliser. So I will give him 6.5.
Yeah, 6.5. It kind of reminds me. Remember before I was talking about that surprise signing like Shelby or someone like that. Yeah, between him and Baptiste, they've kind of got them range of passes. I feel. Do you know what I mean? And I like his range of passing. I think he's kind of he's going to push himself into the midfield again. I still think we need to have more in the midfield, utilize the talent that we have got, and he needs to possibly start. Even if we do play 3 at the back, put 5 in midfield, yeah. And so you can have 3 like central players like that. And I think it'll just be better because we do get bypassed a lot in midfield as well. We do, but yeah, 6.5. I'll be looking to start certain. I'll be changing it up definitely. For the
yeah, I think so, 100%. And then Jackie says 6.5 as well, and then Nelson. Tried a few things, but 6. He come on for literally 6 minutes.
Yeah, and look lively, obviously, when he come on. But he's really confident at the moment. Do you know what I mean? He looks,
especially after scoring that. Who wouldn't be?
for a 19-year-old, I think he is. I think he looks really established and really confident, the way he plays and stuff like that. 6 minutes, whatever it was in the extra time, but still a 6. Probably
exactly.
But yeah.
So there you go. They are the ratings. So obviously your man of match was Baptiste, which now put him with 4 ratings so far. Clark is now level, joint second with Mengi and Nelson as it stands. So yeah, as for the points, well, both didn't get nothing again. Obviously, I said
like Luton.
Yeah, literally. Bit like the fan cams, actually. David literally said to me he forgot the mic. So I was like, oh, okay. Sort of turned up like Luton's performance then in the second half, as you would have seen on the community post. But yeah, it's just one of them, innit? So yeah, like I said, obviously you went for a win, Dad. I went for a draw. But yeah, it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating. But yeah, Dad, you're sort of like in the aspect. I might have said it on the last one, but you're searching for your first point. Luton are searching for their first win. That's what it's like with this. But yeah, obviously we've got Millwall next. Obviously we're getting to that closer to the time. But yeah, that's that when it comes to that. And then, like I say, it's the first stream we've both done since together anyway, since the transfer window. Now I'm going to list all our outgoings and ingoings, Dad, right now, and then just tell me your rating out of 10 and why. So let me just go on it. So obviously Barkley went. We knew that was going to happen. Inevitable. We done a video outside talk about that. Potts obviously went again. Inevitable. Berry wanted first team football, so inevitable. Fred again didn't even expect him to be in the Premier League squad. Musgrave obviously went. Same with Elliot Forbes. Osho went obviously to the French side. Giles again inevitable. Jack Walton obviously went back out on loan again. Dion Piera obviously went out on loan again, which I was surprised about that, to be honest. And then the first 2 incomings, shall I say, was Baptiste and Walters, 2 good players for free. And then obviously McAtee was the next big one. That obviously went to Bolton. Again, it was always out of him and Taylor. Walsh obviously then come in for free, as we know, was training with the team for weeks. McGuinness, obviously set to be a record fee. Crass, obviously Campbell went on loan to Charlton. Chio went to Ipswich. And then obviously Watson, free agent. And I don't really count Pebble because he hadn't really been in the team, but obviously he went to Southend on loan to link up with Moncur again. They were actually meant to play the other day, but I heard something like that one of their players couldn't get out of the train station he was in or something crazy. But yeah, saying that about all the incomings and outgoings, Dad, what would you rate that out of 10 and why?
Do you know what? Like, I don't think it's that bad. I think it could have been a lot worse. I think if we'd have started the season well, and we'd have been up there, I think a lot of people would be saying, listen, yeah, we kept hold of Kaminsky, we kept hold of Mengi, we kept hold of Elijah. But, yeah, Chio went, but I don't think a lot of he just seemed to be playing. If you think about it now, it playing a certain way to show that he can play like that in the Premier League. If that makes sense, like where he was playing it back more and things like that. He wasn't that way. We wasn't really well. We thought that people might look at him. I think we've done well anyway out of that 8 million. Got him on a free. And the players that we have got in, McGuinness, good quality, young. They're all young, quality players. The German guy, Walsh, will give him a chance. You look at him, he looks good. We're only kind of saying now, yeah, we wanted to keep Taylor. We felt he should be in the squad. It looks like he is. The only one I really sort of question a little bit, possibly Osho, we might have wanted to keep him, but he wanted to go, is what it is. McAtee, I felt like we should have kept him, but he's a little bit older than some of the players we've brought in, and that maybe they felt that he's not. Although he's got quality, he's not quite the player that we need. So I don't think it's that bad. In reality, I actually don't, because the players we have actually kept hold of that we thought would be gone. Doughty, Mengi, I'll say it again, Elijah. Possibly Chong was being looked at as well. We've kept that. And the players that we have, Baptiste and Waters already look good. No one could dispute that. For me, Walsh has looked good. We was a bit underwhelmed about that, let's be honest, but he's looked all right. And the German guy's meant to be real quality, so I'm looking forward to seeing him. We signed someone else, but he's gone immediately out on loan till January. Expect him to be possibly in the fold again, in a few months' time. So I don't think it's that bad. In all honesty, maybe there's players that you might have felt that should have been moved on, or may still be. Well, they probably won't be. Like Woodrow is thinking about that, but not to be. So I don't think it's that bad at all. I just think that it's the tactics and that which is making it look worse than it is. So I'd say an 8 out of 10 personally.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, we have managed to keep loads of the players, which is a positive. We did, like I think I said it the other day. I don't count Chio as one of the bigger players for us, because he wasn't as talked about as the others. Like the Doughty, for example, Kaminsky, Elijah, etc. We always knew Barkley and that were going to go. Like literally said it a couple of weeks ago. It's just so frustrating seeing certain people still go on about it. Like I know he's massive for us. Like I know
we're
that, but at the same time, people are like, "Oh yeah, we can loan him back." No, it's not going to happen.
We're never going to keep him.
Guys playing in Champions League. Yeah, it's not going to happen. It's the same when I see it. Berry, he wanted first team football. Right, it's never going to happen at Luton. Yes, he come on a few times and scored. Like I love the guy, but they're footballers. Do you know what I mean? They don't want to sit on a bench. So I look at it and it's decent. I like the free signings, literally the free signings, shall I say? Walsh. To be fair, when he come in, I was a bit like, do you know what? Like, let's back him. Do you know what I mean? The club clearly sees something in him. If you're training for weeks upon weeks with them, well, I don't know how many weeks it was specifically, but I know it's quite a decent amount of weeks. He knows a few of the guys already, so that helps. And he's come in and done really well. One of the positives coming out of that Preston game was him. His performance when he come on, and every other game he's done well when he's come on. It's just his injury record, which is a worry. But again, Baptiste's record ain't much better. It's only a few odd more games. And And yeah, the outgoing shoot, you knew most of them were going to happen. I mean, the McAtee one was a bit of a blow, but again, it was always going to be him or Taylor. You know, that was going to be in and around the team. I would rather keep Taylor. I'm sure everyone in the chat would, including yourself, Dad. Especially when you look at their Luton careers. You know what you've seen from Taylor in his short time, really, at Luton. Obviously, he's been loaned out a lot.
He's younger. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and exactly. So it's more beneficial for the future. Bit surprised. Well, not really. I was going to say about Walton, but then again, Shay's obviously extended, so not really. If he didn't,
and done all right as well. You know.
Yeah, if he didn't, I'd like to see Shay. Sorry, Walton. If Shay didn't extend, you know, obviously we still got crawling and around, but I think that's just he was injured, and also I just think for the experience side of things that is good. You know, that is good. But yeah, I mean overall, I'm quite happy with it. My only thing is maybe not getting in someone to replace Chio, maybe. Not necessarily him, but just more of an attacking player. But then again, it means Taylor should have more chances, hopefully. So you got to look at it like that. But I just feel we have to change it up. It's like you say, that the formation, we've got to change it up. I said it earlier. Well, we all said it earlier. You know what I mean? I said it going into that Portsmouth game. And I don't remember it now because I remember saying it on the Championship show and stuff like that. So we've got to do it now. We're 4 games in. You know, obviously don't want to really
as well.
Go on, Dad.
You know, we normally utilise the free, the free agents, and
there was a lot this summer.
I'm sure that there's, from when I last looked, can't roll it off, a tongue in that, but I'm pretty sure there's players out there that could do a job for us. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens as well. And then we'll see how we get on and that, and if we're, I'm sure we'll turn it around at some point, and if we don't, I've no doubt that the board will make the right decision. And if we're January, we're up there, we've got a chance, and we just know that we need to sign potentially 1 or 2 players to cover or whatever, or then we will. So I don't think it's that bad. I think it's more the way we're playing and the way we've started. And you can see that the players have got quality. You can see that that they are dominating games to a certain extent. We're not really, that wasn't the case in the Championship before necessarily. So it needs to click. It just needs to change in the formation. And that's for me, certain tactics, because it's just clearly not working. And once that gets up and rolling, I think we've got a good squad. Elijah and Morris would get. For me, I feel like they're getting any team in the Championship. If they're played in the right positions or whatever. So I think it's all right. Like I said, I don't think it's bad at all. It just looks worse because
because of how we play. Yeah. Like I said, the only thing for me is maybe that that one for Chio. But other than that, I'm happy. I can't complain. We kept a lot of them players. Like you said. So
they should. Once they kick on, they should be fine. You don't turn into a shit player overnight. Do you know what I mean? They both got figures in the Premier League.
It's the way we're playing, definitely.
So, and Taylor's there to learn from them and take the weight off of what.
Yeah, that's something I'm really.
Need for him to come on, score doubles, score a hat trick, and then go, right, we can't really drop him now. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. Even Woodrow to a certain extent. Do you know what I mean? Maybe he needs to start some games. I know people are like, not, and there has been issues. I think considering the hype when we re-signed him, he's definitely not up to that expectations. Yes, it's got a couple and stuff, but you expect more from someone who initially we let go to a Premier League team.
Yeah.
So but then you got the positives of the youth. I feel a bit sorry for Johnson because I thought he'd be more involved, but I think he'd be more involved if we had a back 4. Nelson, he's looked really good. We know he's definitely got the qualities, and he's going to be in the squad, and He's versatile. He can play probably anywhere across the midfield, number 10, up front as well. So strikers, you can say we are kind of cold. We should have enough to make a challenge to get promoted, but just need to work the tactics, work what we keep doing wrong, and why does it keep happening? Because for me, it's because we're playing free at the back with players that generally used to probably playing in central defence rather than right side central defence and things like that. It's all right for cover now and again. We need it, but generally, I just think it's better. And then what pisses me off about football as well, when they take 4-4-2 away, for me that was perfect formation, 4-3-3. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I like it. I like
it. Bending sometimes, but we're not. You know what I mean? That's the problem.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do like a 4-3-3 formation. But I'll tell you what, when we do that Millwall preview, Dad, it'll be interesting to see what we both go with formation wise. Because obviously we will change it up because it's obviously our opinions and that, and hopefully we do. Because like I say, it's 4 games in now and it's just not looking good, bro. In the sense of just dominating, but you need to take chances. And I also think it's even though it might sound crazy, I actually think the midfield's done all right. Given in mind they're not CDMs, Clark and Baptiste, but you need someone there, i.e. Kraus or Nakamba, because it gives them more freedom and luxury to go forward. But hopefully by then we go with a lot more in midfield, whether that's 3, 4, 5, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Just we need to go with more. It's just simple as that, really. When it comes to that, Jackie says, I think once we have Nakamba back again, it'll be good. Looking forward to seeing German player and our January signing. Yeah, I am looking forward to seeing Kraus because what I have seen of him, is that player that he gets stuck in, and it's what we need. And Nakamba's like that as well, but obviously Kraus is obviously the one that's come over as well. It's a new challenge for him. I reckon he'll be good.
He'll be great in the team.
I just see him in Derby, for example, just getting right in there. Do you know what I mean? I can just see him being that type of guy. But yeah, there's definitely, and obviously the Lamine coming in as well. I think you're referring to for them. Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good. I know their fans really highly rate him. And predominantly when that happens and they come to us, they do well. So yeah, we'll see. And again, hopefully we just change it up. That's what we need to do. It's when you think it's everywhere on the pitch, defence, midfield and thing, because obviously we say we want to see Morris higher. We say about, I say it's quite exploited, I feel, the midfield, just because they're not naturally more defensive minded, and then obviously the defence just ain't working, is it? So we will see. But Dad, any final things you want to say about anything?
Keep with faith. I'm sure that you've got to, as a manager, a recruitment, whatever, the whole training squad, system. You've got to look at it and you've got to come up with a solution. Do you know what I mean? You can't keep. If I see that we're playing Bell, Mengi and whatever, I'm just be like, well, either they've you're trained them up into two positions to run around like headless chickens. Do you know what I mean? You've got to change it up for me, especially with the midfielders we've got. You can't just have Clark and Baptiste. You've got Nakamba on there. You've got Walsh there. You've got this German guy. You need more of them. You need more players in midfield. If you have to put Doughty in a different position, put him in a different position. Do you know what I mean? Put him in the Chong position, like Chong's been playing or whatever. I don't see why he can't play there. And you switch him up. He can play on the right as well. We've done that. You've got to try all that. I'm sure they probably will be trying all these things out in training. They're obviously going to be working hard behind the scenes. We know that. And hopefully they'll come up with some sort of solution, or whatever. Plan B. A lot of people saying there's no plan B. If this plan doesn't work, then we don't know what to do. We're just lumping it forward. You can't be doing that. You've got to be able to adapt and switch players around or switch for. Do you know what I mean? And they be comfortable with that. So yeah, let's see what happens.
Yeah, I totally agree, especially when it comes to the plan B as well. A lot of people, like say, are saying that. So yeah, it just needs to change it up. And we'll definitely start to climb up there for sure. If we do that anyway, if we do change it, which we have to, like I say. But yeah, that is that. So the next Hat Show, ironically, is Friday the 13th. We're doing the next one. And then obviously we've got Millwall. As it stands, I won't be going to it, and I don't think I will. To get into London at 12:30 for me is an absolute nightmare. So shout out to anyone that does go. But yeah, I'll probably do a watch along to that. See, we've got loads of games with this new Sky Plus. Hopefully they fix it as it goes on, because at the moment it is just all over the gap. But yeah, that's that. As for the Championship show, we'll be back again tomorrow without reviewing all the games in more detail and stuff. And yeah, from there on in, I think it's just shorts really. And then I'm probably going to do a watch along to the England game. I want to see how they do with this interim manager against Ireland away, which I'll tell you what, ain't going to be an easy game. They're going to be right up for it. So I'll do a watch along to that. And the other game, I'm not too sure yet as it stands. But yeah, that's stuff coming up when it comes to that. So yeah, big up to everyone that's tuned in. Another new subscriber today as well. So yeah, big up for that, whoever that was. And yeah, I think that's everything I want to say. So smash a like, subscribe, all of that. Follow me across on my socials as well. Do join the Discord as well if you haven't already. Post stuff that's coming up on the channel and coming out, and talk football and stuff like that. So yeah, do join that as well. And yeah, big up to Spencer in the chat who says take care to all. Big up to yourself, mate. And until next time, we'll see you in a bit. So yeah, take care and peace.
Peace.